Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What You Say Anime. I am your host, Peter. On today's episode, it is the Spring 2026 First Impressions episode, going over a whole bunch of new shows and sequels that are currently airing this season. Going to be doing something a little bit different than what I normally do. So, normally with these episodes, I would have a co host and we'd bounce back and forth with what we got going on and what we've been watching and just discuss from there. But because I'm doing this solo, I wanted to try something a little bit different. And let me know if you guys think like of this format, since I'm gonna be doing a little bit more solo episodes. What I wanted to do this time around is sort of come into this episode with only watching a handful of episodes for each show. And then like a month later, when I do like the mid-season check-in, be fully caught up on all the shows that I'm watching. I wanted to sort of get an idea of sort of what I think that the show is going to be if I haven't read it, and then sort of compare and contrast from our previous discussion. So I think I'm gonna try this out. If you guys like it, let me know. If it doesn't work out, also let me know. So I think it'll be a good idea to sort of like think about like what I was thinking about in the past, checking like 4 weeks from now and seeing if I had any predictions or what I was hoping would happen in the show does happen, or if something changes in the show that would be like, oh, they went this way. That's a way better idea than what I was originally thinking. And just compare and contrast with that. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. And I hope you guys enjoyed this new format that I'm working on. So that being said, we're gonna dive right into the shows, but this is gonna be like a spoiler warning. If you haven't watched these shows, obviously I'm gonna be talking about them. This is your spoiler warning. Use the timestamps in the description below if you want to jump around, and that way you don't get anything avoided. Unless you want to hear my spoilers for the first couple episodes, and maybe it'll intrigue you to actually watch it. So, that being said, I wanted to start with the shows that I will be watching, but I haven't gotten around to it. Combination of like work and then coming back from Japan and sort of having to finish winter, or was it fall? I did that in the winter, in the fall review. I kept calling it winter. The fall season. I'm kind of like 2 weeks ish. I was like 2 weeks behind on fall, and that led into or bleeding into spring a little bit. But catching up and watching a whole bunch of shows, and yeah, I'll have a much better rapport like a month from now. So hope you guys still enjoy. So the first show that the shows I didn't get to that I will be watching, Marriage Toxin. Looks fantastic. Looks like the comedy style from what I've seen from the manga panels look great. And I'm definitely looking forward to checking out Marriage Toxin. And then the second season of Wistoria. When I did go to watch it, it was when the special episode was out, and then I was like, oh, it's not actually episode 1 of season 2 yet. So that because of that, I kind of just like forgot that Wistoria was airing. So I will be watching it. I enjoyed season 1 enough to watch season 2. So that being said, let's jump into the new shows, and then we're gonna be doing sequels at the end. So the first show, probably the biggest show to come out this season in terms of new properties, with the hype and everything surrounding it, was Witch Hat Atelier or Atelier or however people pronounce it. I don't really know, to be honest. It's like when Freerin was airing and everybody kept calling it, Fryren. I kept calling it Fryren. Let me know how you pronounce Atelier or Atelier or whatever it is, because obviously I can't do that. So I've read, like I think I've read like 50 to 60 chapters. So this is not going to be one where I'm going to predict what I think is going to happen going forward, since I know what's going to happen going forward. But Bug Films is absolutely crushing it. When we had the delay with it having flashbacks to Zom 100 and sort of their production issues that they had with that show, we were having Vietnam flashbacks of this being part 2 of Zom 100. And luckily, Bug learned their lesson the first time and didn't delay it mid-season. They took a season off to polish it, and it shows. This is one of, if not the best animated show of the season so far. And the real Sakuga moments of the series, especially in the early parts, we haven't even gotten yet. So Bug Films, bravo for the production value and everything that you were putting on with it. I think it's been a fantastic introduction to the cast so far through the first couple episodes, especially in our Discord, because the story takes a second to get going. And we have fun in our Discord calling it Mid-Hat Atelier. Those people like to have a lot of fun. And I hope that they change their mind towards the end of the season, because while I do see some of their complaints, this is a story that takes time to build. A lot of fantasies take time to build, especially when it's not like action focused, I would say, where dramas and conflicts can't be solved with violence. So, I mean, the beginning episodes, I thought they did a fantastic introduction to sort of setting up the world system, the politicalness of sort of magic is available for everybody, but it's hidden in the world by, these bigwigs, the Illuminati of the Witch Hat world that don't want this information to be known public. And they're the scary guys of the story. But right now we're really focused on Coco and the gang sort of being or Coco getting integrated into Keyfree's studies with the other girls, with Tetia and Agat and Riche. We're still building. And I think when you view it through that lens, that the first couple episodes is really to build the cast and the chemistry of sort of what or who is going to be the main story players. I think it's great. I think it's been a fantastic way of introducing it to everybody. I like it better in the anime than I did with the manga. However, there are some things with the manga that will never be replicated in anime, like the paneling. And one thing in particular is Agat's design in the manga is just insane. And it's good in the anime, but if you look at her design in the manga versus the anime, I get why they couldn't, or maybe it would take too long to sort of like her hair is like really curly in the manga. Like it's a lot of detail. And so not seeing that and sort of I would say her tone in the manga, I didn't view it as how do I phrase it in a way? I didn't view it as like as hostile as she is sort of being portrayed out to be in the anime. But I think when you if that is your viewpoint, just chill. She is my favorite character for a reason. A lot of these characters take time to be fleshed out, but I guarantee you the journey is worth the wait. This Witch Hat is it's a special show. Like there is a reason why this is lumped in with Frieren in Dungeon Meshi, but you have to give it time to let it cook. I think about like Frieren, how they released all 4 episodes or the first 4 episodes together, and I think that made such an impact to the show of sort of setting everything up in a nice package right away for everyone to consume. When it was airing, was a great way to get everybody on board. I think how this style of show is building, the week by week can be a little tough, but I think when it's all said and done, this is going to be remembered as one of the best fantasy animes that we're ever going to get. I shouldn't say ever going to get, but like this decade, this is going to be in consideration for some of the best fantasy that we're ever going. I just did it again. This is the problem with talking by yourself. The best fantasy anime in like this decade. Let's put it in that way. My only concern is something with like how long it took Bug Films to get this out. If a second season is honestly like, I guess it's probably going to be reliant on its like the manga sales, but I would really love to see the bump it needs to get a second season. It has sort of a different structure than like Dungeon Meshi and Frieren, where I think that appeal to the masses to get the manga sales higher is there in those 2 properties. But I hope by the end of it, people are going to be so intrigued by what they see that those manga numbers are going to go up. So one of the best shows so far of this season. I'm not going to do like what I have it rated at or where I think I'm going to rate it. I'm going to do that in the mid-season check-in because I think I'll have a better understanding. But production on point, story on point, maybe some character differences just because I'm biased that Agat's my favorite character. With her was a little bit whatever, but like I think they're doing a fantastic adaptation. Even sort of low-key doing the paneling in the manga, like with the OP, is sort of like an homage to how good the paneling is in the manga. And I really like that Bug is, that you can tell that they care. They care about the source material, that they're trying to adapt a lot of what makes this manga so special into an anime form. But so far, great. Can't wait to see like the big moments and sort of the other I shouldn't say ancillary, but like side characters in the show that become like a big focal point and resonate with a lot of people. So Witch Hat, if you're not watching it, what are you doing? Next up, Akane Banashi. I also read this manga. I think I read like past the. I think there's multiple time skips in the manga. I read up until like just after the first time skip. So I know what happens for probably what we're going to get this season. I think it's 2 core. So I would probably have read what this entire season is going to cover if I had to take a guess. But I like this way more than the manga. Like Rakugo, when it's storytelling, when the focus is storytelling, especially heavy dialogue storytelling with like your physical movement and how that interacts with the story. I just think it does better in anime than manga. Not saying that manga can't do it. It's just I think it's easier and to like comprehend and easier to consume in this medium. So just starting off, coming from some this would be my, I guess, technically second Rakugo anime outside of Rakugo Shinju. It is significantly less dramatic, even in the beginning, where we have like everybody gets expelled from the school. Her dad is no longer this, her idol, her mentor, the person that she looks up to the most, is no longer doing what he loved, and she is carrying on his legacy by trying to get revenge essentially on her father losing his. And how it's just captured in the anime is it's a mixture of the drama's there. Like you see this like light, I almost call it a light revenge story because it's not like the same vein as when I say a normal revenge story, like what people would think, but it is a revenge story. And just how it's being portrayed in the anime with the characters, like when they were like talking about, there's like one scene in episode 1 or 2, I forgot, but essentially it's a Rakugo performance with three characters, but it's one person. And how they sort of visualize it with like shifting left and right and changing the tone of the voice was much easier to understand in the anime. So that's why I would say like watch the anime first, and if you like this type of story and want to continue, go read it. I'm guessing we would probably get more content just because this is a pretty big Shonen Jump property. However, with 2 cores, I would maybe guess that we're gonna get a big chunk now, a couple years break, and then maybe like another big chunk with this show. But this is a great introduction to what Rakugo is. I would probably recommend something like this first, then watching something like Rakugo Shinju, just because of it's not something that we're super familiar with in the West. If you're familiar with like anime culture or like Japanese culture, maybe you are. Maybe you are a well-cultured individual, but I think for the majority of people who are coming into the story, this is their introduction to Rakugo. And it's just a great and easy way to consume it. And I think that is a testament to what makes Akane Banashi great, is because while it is a different style of show that you would normally see in Shonen Jump, it's translated in a way where we're having fun with the characters and enjoying everything that's going on with it while being the type of story that it is. And I think it's hard to do when you're a heavy dialogue focused show to keep the attention spans of either a TikTok generation person or old unk status guy or older people. Like what I think how it handles that was way easier to consume than something like Rakugoshin. Just just great. But I would say if you like this show, please check out Rakugo Shinju at some point. But I mean, they're great. The cast is getting built up right now. Akane, I love her. I love her way more in the anime too. I just feel like her personality comes out more too with the voice acting. It's like in a different way because she's very expressionate in the manga, but I just love how it's being handled in the anime with her actions and her voice acting. And my microphone is falling down mid recording. I need to buy a new microphone stand apparently, but just great, man. Highly recommended. One of the better shows. I would put this maybe like a tier below Witch Hat, but wonderful, wonderful show. Akane Banashi. Let's talk about the best first episode of the season. Not even close. Took me by surprise. I can't believe what we got with Nippon Sangoku. Sangoku. There we go. Sangoku. Sangoku. The Three Nations of the Crimson Sun. Wow. We start off with the first episode of 2 just teenage kids living in not even like a rebellion, but they kind of start what is becoming this rebellion, this uprising, this new change in Japan. And we see the main character and his wife, who is his wife Saki, was R.I.P. Saki. What a great character for one episode. And her death leads into the main character sort of doing what he's doing along with this. So what I thought this was going to be was a little bit more grittier because of sort of the stylization of the art direction of this. I thought this was going to be nitty gritty, maybe like Vinland Saga ish style of storytelling. But then we got episode 2 and it sort of turned into like a golden Kamui feel to it, where we have this underlying like three kingdoms of Japan battling each other. Who's going to win what? Who's going to go where? How is this going to shape the land of Japan? And then we got introduced to Yoshi, and like the entire tone shifted of the show. Just like Golden Kamui, it doesn't mean it has to be funny. Golden Kamui is the same way, where we're mixing in the comedy and the lightheartedness and the real like ganky personalities of some of these characters while still being in like a heavy dramatized style show. Like this is a military like drama, and our main character's wife was murdered, but they still make it, and they still find a way to make it fun. And I think that's a testament to so many shows, but like so many shows try to do this and fail. They knocked it out of the park in these first couple episodes. Like by far the best opening of the season. It's something like last season where like Tommen's B-side, if you watch that, the first episode was the best first episode of the season. If you watched it, everyone knows that. If you watched it, if you didn't watch it, then you have no idea what I'm talking about. This is the same thing. Everybody who watched this first episode is like, yeah, this is it. Like this might be something great in the making. You know what it kind of reminds me of is when Heavenly Delusion dropped, where it was not on a lot of people's radar. The manga was popular, but not like super popular. Like it was known, but not well known. Same thing with this. I've seen hints of this on social media with the manga, but I never really saw people be like, oh, this is my favorite manga. Oh, this story is incredible. I've just seen like, oh, I've read this and it was cool. So it makes me think that like they are knocking it out of the park with its adaptation, because everybody was jizzing their pants after the first episode. And guess what? So was I, because this show is incredible. A couple things I'm concerned about. They use a lot of filtering. And while it adds to the stylization of the show, it should be used for still shots. There was a scene in episode 2 where they keep the filter on, and then they move the camera down, but the filter didn't move with the camera. So it kind of looked bad. But when they have like the filtering and it's just like people talking, I think it adds a great layer of like grittiness to some of these characters, especially in the tone of the dialogue that they're talking about. So sometimes it's silly and goofy and they don't use the filter. But then sometimes when it is more serious, they will use the filter. And I like that a lot. It sort of gives you an idea of the tone of what's going to happen before it happens. What I'm looking forward to seeing in the show, I would like to see. I wonder if it's gonna be like a windbreaker thing where like he's like getting a core together and then just gonna go fuck up people. Like I'm really intrigued to see how they build up this group that they're building up. That's what I want to see, how that's built up. I think that's the number one thing I want to see out of this show. I can't tell, because we had like a fight in episode 2, and while I think it was fine, it didn't really like stand out. So I wonder if this is going to be more focused on like the drama and less action. So I would like to see how that plays out. But throughout the first couple episodes, I mean, you can maybe argue that this is the best show of the season so far. Like I would, if somebody told me that this was their favorite show of the season, I'd be like, I totally get it. It's top 3 for me for sure. After watching a different show, I have to debate what I think is the best show of the season, but this is top 3 and it ain't 2. So if you haven't watched Nippon Sangoku, go watch it. It's on Amazon Prime. And if you want a tip for Amazon Prime, because their ads are so ass, download the episode if you can, because then it gets rid of the ads, and then just delete the download. Save you 2.5 minutes every episode. Okay, next show, Ramparts of Ice, based off the manga, or based off the mangaka of You and I Are Polar Opposites. We got a less funny, more, I'll put this in quotation, serious show, but I would put this as like light teen drama. And while the show is a drama, I still think that the show is hilarious. This mangaka does a great job at sort of, we saw this in Polar Opposites too, different ways of showcasing comedy in this show, where it's not all, well, actually Polar Opposites, a lot of it was visually. In this one, it's more dialogue, like a lot of like how Kyoki sort of interacts with them and her just like, huh, what? Like her those I guess it's a little visual because her face is telling the story too, but it's more of like the punchline of like, huh? But like her character works really well with that. We're diving into it sort of seems like it's the story of a girl who, you know, she fit in but like never fit in. She like liked boys but like never dated anybody. Sort of like in a limbo state. I guess I would put that in like high school terms, like you're somewhere in the middle. And I kind of get that feeling. I was a little bit that way when I was in high school too, but man, I gotta give a shout out to fucking Yota, who is my favorite character of the season so far. I absolutely adore his personality, how he handles situations, how he uses like being tall as a punchline sometimes. I think his character is fantastic. I love it. And then the other guy, the Minato, where I feel like the story is kind of shaping up to be like a love polygon, but like not really. So this is where I want it to go. I sort of want this third wheel character to stick around and realize eventually that he never stood a chance. I think that'd be a great addition to like a love polygon, because I think sometimes in these love polygons we always get the idea that, oh, maybe girl 2, oh, maybe guy 2 has a chance, when like he never stood a chance, but the story sort of like gives hints where like you can kind of see maybe that's happening. So far I haven't gotten that at all with Minato. Like so far it seems like people like deal with him but they don't like him. And I really like that. I really like that dynamic of a character. Like you always have casts of like, if we're gonna talk polar opposites or we're gonna talk like stories like this, like Horimi or something like that, where you have a core group of 6, 7, 8 characters, they're all like really good friends, like all the time. Like it feels that way at least. In this, it's like, yeah, Minato's like fine. Like he's kind of a douche, but like he's kind of funny. He's kind of nice, and he's not smart, but like you can tell that he's like a good person deep down. Maybe he's just like going through, your teenage phase. Like that's kind of like what he's going through, where like he doesn't have an identity. Where like the other characters I feel like have an identity and they don't really like Minato in the same way because he's sort of multiple people. And that dynamic is what really draws me to this. So far, we've gotten a lot of Minato. I hope we get way more Yota, and I want to see how just sort of that love polygon translates. Even I could be wrong. I mean, it has the romance tag, so like I could be wrong. This might not even be a love polygon, but that's sort of how it feels like it's setting up. So I want to see how that plays out more than anything. But Ramparts is great. If you liked Polar Opposites, Ramparts of Ice should be an absolute must watch. It's not in Netflix jail, unlike Akane Banashi. Oh, speaking of which, Akane Banashi, you can watch all the episodes on YouTube, which is awesome. Same day. But Ramparts of Ice being on Netflix didn't stop it from, like, it didn't get in jail. We're getting it weekly. It's great. This show is fantastic. Please watch Ramparts of Ice, especially if you watch Polar Opposites. You need to watch this show. Love it. Love it. This is a top 5 show of the season so far for me, I would say. Top 5. Okay, this one, Botan fully blossoms when drunk. We got Yuri drunk. So, a couple things I really like about this one. And the biggest thing was episode 2. So, a lot of times in anime, they'll do these things when people flirt where it's very like I would say offhanded, but like sometimes like the compliments and the flirting isn't directed at the person. Sometimes it's like word of mouth, or they overhear the person talking about them. What I loved about in episode 2, it was like main girl Botan said something along the lines of like, if you keep that up, then I'm going to steal the tongue out of your mouth, like directly to her. Something about that. It's like, I love it when you have people who are like 20 plus flirting like they're 20 plus. Like they're at the age where, hand holding and getting a girlfriend maybe isn't the end goal like you see with high school romances. Maybe they're trying to get laid. Maybe they're trying to, you know, get drunk and do something stupid, something along those lines when you're that age. It's being portrayed so well in this anime. Man, something like, even though I fucking love this show, Food for the Soul, where that was, I mean, way more slice of life, gourmet style, more focused on that. The They were college students, but they didn't necessarily feel like college students. This feels like they're college students. Like, this feels like they're young adults, and what they are doing is great. And we need more of this. We just need more people of age acting that age. It's the same thing with sort of like when I read, or like with adult cast like manga or something like that, where like a huge focus of relationships in those types of manga is like, their sex life and how it's portrayed. It's not necessarily the sex itself, it's what it means at that age, or what it means to have a connection, what it means to be in love with somebody when you're doing that stuff, like the difference in that stuff with being in love or being drunk, or dating for a month, dating for a year, dating for 10 years, like the different stages of that. I really like seeing that portrayed in manga. And that's why something like Sweat and Soap is one of my all-time favorite mangas. This is like what I like in my manga, and I'm finally getting in anime form, because a lot of times it's not like that. So absolute must watch for Yuri fans, or fans of, or looking for like an adult cast, young adult cast, college cast. Spectacular. It's fun. They get drunk. One of the girls smokes and she looks so fucking cool. Like, don't smoke, kids, but it's the coolest accessory that you can have. Same thing with guns. I don't like guns, but if you're holding one, you kind of look cool. Same thing with smoking. You just look cool. Adore the show. Oh, we've been doing this thing in Discord where like we cheers up every time we watch this, because they get drunk in our show, and then we're having like a cocktail or a mixed drink or a beer while we're watching this. Really good fun. All right. Next up is Agents of the Four Seasons. Violet Evergarden, my favorite anime's creators, their new story. I was fascinated from the get-go. I've only seen 2 episodes, by the way. So I think at the time of recording, there's like 4. So what we've seen so far is sort of the different seasons. The gods no longer want to do the work. And so now the seasons are passed to humans, and they are responsible for, there's 4 people, they're responsible for each season. At least that's what it looks like. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It seems it's called Agent of the Four Seasons, right? There's got to be 4. So I've seen spring and I've seen winter, and I like how they're being portrayed, especially spring. In episode 1, sort of her area that she's in has been in winter for 10 years. And with her finally like being able to possess whatever, the avatar of spring. I don't know. I'm sure there's a terminology for it. I don't know what it's called. But like the fact that she like bloomed in the first episode to trigger it, like spring is blooming, spring is, like that was awesome. Like I loved how they were incorporating the season into sort of her element. That's what I like. But I've only seen 2 episodes. This will be really brief. I don't really know what's going to happen. I have like no clue. Like, it seems like there are people who maybe want to kill the seasons because of who knows what. I can't wait to find out. I think it has like a little bit of a, I don't know about mystery is the right word, but like there's something underlying with the story that we haven't been told yet. And I want to know what that is. But Wit Studio is doing a great job at the production of this, and I'm really looking forward to seeing more. I wish I watched more episodes before I could record, just couldn't get to it, but more down the road. So I guess what I want to see when I do my mid-season check-in is hopefully the entire cast is established. We have all 4 seasons, and sort of like, what's the end goal of these characters? What are we doing other than just being avatars of? So we'll cement that, and we'll check it out, see what happens in a month from now, and see how the story progresses. All right, next show, The Warrior Princess and the Barbaric King. This was one of 2 shows when I did my PV review that I was sort of like, oh, that was way better than I thought it was going to be. And last season, I was 2 for 2 with that. This season, not so much. So I like this show. I just don't think it's as good as I originally thought it was going to be. It's fun. I can understand why the content maybe isn't for everybody, but this isn't like a. I mean, you watch. If anyone's watched Game of Thrones, this is like Daenerys. What's her name? Oh my god. Trent, edit this. No, don't edit. But it kind of reminds me of that essentially, and eventually how their relationship in Game of Thrones worked out. I ended up like really liking them as a couple. This is kind of the same way. Where right now I'm sort of like iffy of them as a couple, but just because they're enemies doesn't mean they can't be lovers. We sort of got like a background of what's his name of Vior. I'm just gonna call him the king. So we got like this world of the king and like where they live and how Sarah sort of viewed them because they're barbaric and everything like that. They thought that they were like living in slums and they were, killing people and they're drunk and all the time and all this stuff. Like you see when I guess the term like barbarians are thrown around or something like that, where they're just merciless killers and everything like that. And then you get to their world and it's like, no, they're living life. They have a nice place. It could just be like, I think it's just more of like, I don't know if it's like sort of like they're just showing the impression that Sarah's kingdom is actually kind of shitty, but they like grown up in a way where they believe like their homeland is the best and like everybody else is, oh my god, you can't hang out with those guys over there. They're barbarians. They'll kill you. They'll eat you. You have to stay over here where it's nice and pretty. But like the whole reason why they're in this war is because they're in famine. Like they don't have any food. People are dying. They're sick, trying to get more land or whatever. And it's literally the meme. Are we the baddies? Like I think Sarah is slowly realizing that what her world portrayed these people as isn't what they actually are. So I hope that's the case, because then I think it gets a better light on sort of the overall story it's trying to tell, where this barbarian king is not just this merciless pillaging demon lord or whatever. He's just like, nah, he's just a king in his own kingdom. And just because you guys view him as a barbarian doesn't mean that he is. So that's what I want to see from future episodes, to see how that portrays. I'd love to see more of Sarah's kingdom's like background and why the barbarian king is at war with them more understanding of the political side of the conflict. Well, I do believe that the majority of it is going to be their relationship, but they can still get to know each other through like that type of backstory and build their bonds together. So that's what I want to see from future episodes, and I hope we get it. But thinking that this was probably going to be like a really high score was wrong on my part. I'll hold this L. But the other show, I can't believe this show has a 6.89 on Map. It pisses me off. And that's 100 scenes of Awajima. Holy buckets of butts, dude. This show F's hard. We have some people on our Discord who were confused by the first episode because what it sort of seemed like is we got introduced to two girls and we sort of got like thrown into their life. There really wasn't like a backstory of these characters. We sort of were figuring it out as the episodes went along. And by the end of the first episode, it's like, I liked what I saw, but I was like, are we just gonna have to like figure it out as we go? And then episode 2 dropped. And it was the cast was they're showcasing two different girls. I'm like, is this like Zuri children where we're going to have like 6, I'm not going to say couples because that was Zuri children, but we're going to have like 6 different couples episodes and like follow them around. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think how it's going to be, and episode 3 kind of proved this as well, is that it's going to be each standalone episode. It kind of reminds me of something like Liz and the Bluebird, where it's like the focal point is going to be on 2 girls and there is a larger world around them, but the episodes are just focused on them. and we get introduced to the world and we understand the world through each episode's pairing. So while I think it's a little unconventional doing it that way, because I think it is easier for people to have a backstory of these characters before diving into their like story beats. This show's not really doing that. We're getting some, but it's not to the level that we're used to, which I like and I don't like. I like it that it's different, but I don't like it that it can be a little hard to understand, especially like episode 3, which so far has been my favorite episode. Kind of jumps in between like 3 generations throughout the entire episodes, and it was a little hard to sort of figure out who was who and who was doing what sometimes, just because we had like one character literally be a child, a teenager, an adult. And then we had one character who was like an adult, older, and then like a grandma. And then we had older, grandma, dead, stuff like that. We're spanning multiple generations in like one episode. Can be a little tough, but holy shit, dude, this show, the beats are there. Oh my god, the beats are great. The background art, the majority of it appears to be watercolor. Not all of it. I could be mistaken, but not all of it. I think something like the school buildings when they were like walking through the hall, that wasn't watercolor. But then I've seen like clip, or I watched it like where they're like outside and like, there's like a forest behind them, and that was clearly watercolored. So the art has just been stunning. The character designs remind me a little bit of something like, in episode 3, kind of reminded me of Skip and Loafer a little bit, but I don't know if that's like the best comparison. But it reminds me a lot of, I can't put my finger on it, but this show F's hard. Oh my god, I love this show. I love this show so much. If you like Liz and the Bluebird, if you like Kageki Shoujo, if you like, I would say like the drama elements of Revue Starlight, if you like, what other like, I'm trying to think of like more theater or acting performances, but like maybe like the school parts of like Oshinoko or something like that. But oh my god, this show is great. Great. Like Nippon Sangoku had the best first episode. This show might have the best 3 episodes for new shows. Wow. I'm in the camp that this is a must watch. I can't believe it's Ballerate. I can't. The only thing that's like, I think that's like, I won't even say bad, but what people I would think would consider bad is just the structure on how they're telling the story. If you can understand the structure and understand what they're trying to do, I think you'll have a way better and more enjoyable time with the show, because this is something great. I can already tell this is something great. This is top 3. Top 3. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay, now it's time for the Discord to be mad at me. Sorry, guys. Apologies in advance. I respect you. I hope you guys still respect me after this. But it is Gals Can't Be Kind to an Otaku. Guys, girls, guys, gals, non-binary pals. This show sucks. This show is fucking ass, dude. This show sucks. I like these style of shows. I really like Hokkaido Gals. The fucking gal show from like 2015, while that was ass, I still found like some enjoyment in it. We had the Okinawa one not too long ago. We had the gal character with like the food court one. Like, I like gal content. I think it's fun. I love Genki characters like that. Not this show. Like, look, I get it. I get that this is a self-insert show. There are levels of self-inserting. Like, in one episode, they're already best friends. Like, all 3 of them, absolute best friends. There's no build up. They're just like, oh, you like this one show? Which is, look, I have met plenty of friends in passing where I'm like, oh, you like that? Oh, I like that. And we talk about it, and we actually become really good friends. That's a real thing, and I totally get it. Not in the context of this show. This show, the chemistry between the 3 is negative 4,000. Like, I the show is telling me that they're friends, but I don't feel that. Like, I don't think the show did anything to really make me care about them. Like, are they fun characters? Absolutely. Are they doing things that I find enjoyable in anime? 100%. But there's just nothing there between them. I got nothing. Like, the main character sucks. Like, Mr. Self-Insert himself was like, "Oh, I'm a loser. I have no friends, but I like this one anime." Oh my god, you like that one anime? No way. I like that one anime too. Let's have a glow stick party in my bedroom. We just met. Let's do that because that's what people do when they're just becoming friends with people. That's exactly what you do. Just I don't think this mangaka had friends. Like, straight up, I'm sorry. Like, ah, the show sucks. That's all I can say. I'm sorry. I'm gonna watch. I'll watch a couple more episodes. Maybe it'll turn around, but I don't know, man. Like, I liked the beats of something like Hokkaido Gals, of like the second girl sort of getting introduced later because you're building up to it. Not this hodgepodge of character tropes and otaku things. Like, it's just like it's like a mad lib of like, what you have a hat full of otaku things. Like, okay, today we're gonna go to animate. Oh my god, that's episode 3. Episode 4, opening up the Mad Lib, and it's like, oh, we're gonna go to the Glittermon movie. That's episode 4. Episode 5, beach episode, of course. Gotta have a beach episode. Episode 6 is, insert otaku activity. It just lost its gusto, I would say. Just it seems like, well, okay, this is exactly what it is. It seems like they know their audience and it's like, this is what you want, right? Well, here you go. Like, you don't care about the story, do you? There's a bunch of cute girls and an otaku guy. Go at it. Like, lost it. Yeah, I'm probably gonna drop the show. I'm gonna give it a couple more episodes, but just because man, like they're fun. Like, they are fun characters. I don't give a shit. That's all it is. Probably the lowest show I'm watching. So, gals can't be kind to otaku. Sorry, Discord. Speaking of which, if you like this show and you want to rip me, join our Discord, because I'm guessing that's what 9 people are going to do when this episode drops. Okay, let's move on to a show, the Full Metal Alchemist mangaka. This is the last new show that I want to talk about. Welcome, Yatagarasu Season 2, right? Holy shit. Like, I thought this was going to be like a period piece fantasy show with like, you see the bow and arrows in the PV. You see like this non-industrial civilization sort of being attacked, and then realizing that they are sort of living in another world within a world. I didn't know if this is like a hidden village type of thing where like, or if it's like actually like a parallel universe. I think it's more of like the parallel universe side where like people can enter and leave, like walking through a torii gate and then entering a new world. I think it's something along those lines. But the first couple episodes was really just building the world. Like, and that's the same thing like with Full Metal did, where we had like the conflict right away, building up the world, and then after we build up the world, and then it's like full send. I think Daemons is going to be following the same formula. So we got the initial conflict with the village being attacked, Yuru getting left and right, his Daemons, and sort of venturing out of the village after the attack, and sort of learning that maybe who we thought were enemies are maybe not our enemies. Maybe there's another lingering threat out there that we need to figure out together, type of thing, where like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Sort of learning like Yuru's sister with Asa, and learning that there's a lot of like build up right now where it's hard to say where this is going. So what I think is going to happen is, right now we're in the real world. So what I'm going to expect is there's going to be a bunch of conflicts that's going to happen in this world, and then we'll have to somehow move back into Yuru's old village to solve some other problem. That's kind of where it's going. But Daemons has been really great. I think it's sort of like Witch Hat, where you can see it building something. We just need to we have to give it time to cook. I think its buildup has been great so far. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where it goes from here, but we need to let it cook some more. So big fan of what we got from Daemons so far. Though I will say, this just remind me, I thought Bones Film would have way higher production on this show. There are spots in the show that look really bad. Episode 2 with Gabby's Daemon looks like Ghastly, like from Pokemon. And there are scenes where you see sort of like the gas like dissolving behind it, like as it's walking. And then we have scenes where the gassy structure around this character is dead still. Like it's not like it's a gas thing anymore. Very odd, like production when you have really good and really bad. I think the really bad stands out more. So I hope Bones has less of that, because especially Bones Films, this is a standalone studio from Bones on a very highly popular series. So hopefully we see less of that. And then once we get into, I would say, more of like the moments where we need the Sakuga, like the big fight moments, that those are really well animated. So I want to see that going forward. And I just kind of want to see how maybe we get, because we've kind of gotten like 2 full episodes of world building, maybe one more, but I think we kind of need to start getting the gears rolling. I think we got enough where we can learn more of the world through other actions than just the dialogue we've gotten so far. But really good so far. Absolutely love what we've got from Damon. So we'll be continuing watching that. So those are all the new shows I'm gonna get to. In terms of shows that I dropped, I've only dropped one show so far, and that's Liar Game, which the first episode we watched as a Discord, and it was really fun because we were watching it together and sort of just like shitting on it together. Like, what are we watching? Like, what is going on? Then once you start watching it by yourself, it's not as fun. So I dropped it. But if the boys ever want to watch it in Discord, I would definitely watch it. So join our Discord if you want to check out some of our watch parties, doing it a little bit more, especially with movies. I think the Chainsaw Man Rize arc is coming to Crunchyroll in May, so I will probably be doing a watch party for that because I haven't seen the movie yet. Those are new shows. Let's get to sequels. So, first sequel I want to talk about is Dune 3, aka ReZero Season 4. Once again, coming off the backs of Season 3, which was a top 10 show of last year. And I thought that maybe we would have a little break in the beginning of the season and then ramp up later. Nope. Just like Season 3, we are starting things off right away. And I mean, if you're watching ReZero this far, you're already like fully invested. Like the suffering of Subaru throughout, and man, it's so good because now we're at the point where I feel like we're going to get to a point once where a main cast member is going to die and Subaru is not going to be able to reset. I don't know if that's going to happen in ReZero ever, but the tone of sort of how Season 3 was into what Season 4 is kind of gives me this feeling that they want to keep upping the suffering no matter what. And I think the best way to do that is hurting the people around Subaru. So I want to see if that is the direction that they are going. Because, man, I get people who like watched the first season and maybe dropped it and like meme the shit out of Subaru for being who he is. Subaru is a fantastic character, and I will die on this hill. I think he's one of the best isekai protagonists. Just the resilience, sort of like the courageousness, the humility. Subaru is just a fantastic main character. Can't wait to see what they do with Rem. Rem is back in the picture. We're trying to wake her up. Oh man, I love ReZero. ReZero, I don't even know where the fuck this is going. Like, if you ask me how season 3 started versus where it ended. I guess you could probably season 3 is a little bit different, but I don't know what's going. I have no clue what's going to happen in season 4. I'm here for the ride. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't really have a prediction for season 4 or ReZero. I'm here for the ride. That's all. Is the Discord ready to hate me again? The Angel Next Door spoils me rotten. Season 2. Season 1 was fine. It's a little too much Housewife Simulator for me, and I didn't like how every interaction was in their apartment. Season 2, it does seem like they are more comfortable with each other, especially being more open with each other in public, but it still has that like underlying tone of Housewife Simulator. Like I just can't get it out of my head. This is a perfect example of a show that I don't think is bad, but I don't think I am the right demographic for it. I can't. It's too fluffy, man. Like it's too, like the characters are just like too perfect. Like the main girl is like, I need her to be like, she needs to start smoking. Like if she starts smoking, this show's a 10. Like she needs a flaw. Like be bad at something. Be not this person because you're perfect. And perfect pisses me off. Just kidding, but that's kind of where I am with this show. I just can't get into it. I'm probably dropping it, but I don't think it's bad. I just don't like this style of like romance, really. It's too fan fiction-y. It's too, I don't even know if fan fiction is a word, but it's too like I drew the perfect girlfriend and now she's my girlfriend. If that was like an anime title, like that's what this is. And I need grind their gears. So like every time like he's like, I don't know, like it's always like teasing, but it's in like a really nice, silly way. Like I need somebody to be a jerk. I need somebody to get hit by a car. I need somebody to start smoking. I need, I need something. I need something else. It's just, I don't know what it is, but it's not there right now. But hope you guys are enjoying it. All right, last show. It's my number 1 show of the season. It's my number 1 sequel. It's Dorohedoro season 2. Oh my god, we waited 6 years and they just fucking knocked it out of the park. Holy shit. Like everything is elevated again in the season, except for while the OP fucking bangs, the first OP was so good. Like I thought that was like I think the OP of season 2 is better than the OP of season 1, but I think the OP of season 1 matches the tone better. They do the OP sort of still like in the same way where like a bunch of people are like dying and turning into paint. They did that with the season 1 OP, and they kind of do that with this with they're at like the rock show. But outside of that, the gang's back. Where to start? Like it's awesome seeing like the Doctor being more involved in the cast because he was such a cool character. Johnson, my favorite, actually, he's not my Shin's my favorite character probably, but like just what Johnson is just so fun. Like Dorohedoro is the horror version of Golden Kamuy, where we do have like a true story happening in its wake, but it is wild, filled with antics, crazy just moments. Episode, was it 4 or 5, where Ibisu is talking to like her family's nanny, and then the cloned version of Ibisu just like crushes her with a baking pan out of nowhere. It's just like, fuck. That's what Dorohedoro is. It's moments where you just go, fuck, or you go, shit, or you like cover your eyes like, oh my god, that's disgusting, but I can't look away. Like that's what Dorohedoro is. On top of having cool as shit character designs, like the hierarchy with like the devils and the sorcerers and the humans and the world, the cross eyes, like what their goals is. Man, this show is just pure gas, no breaks. I said I wasn't gonna like do ratings. I have to show it at 10. I'd be shocked if I didn't give it a 10. I'd be shocked if I gave it lower than a 10. I love Dorohedoro. I hope Die Dark, the mangaka's other works, gets adapted soon. Just a brilliant, brilliant show coming out the backs of season 1 and just continuing to be full force. I can't wait. Somebody mentioned this in our Discord that it's not as comfy as season 1. And I responded to that with, it needs a baseball episode. So we need some form of baseball episode. It doesn't have to be baseball, but baseball related type episode in season 2 would go a long way, or like an OVA or something like that, because the season's only 11 episodes. So if you do like a 1 episode OVA of them, a rematch baseball game, that'd be sick. But that is the first impressions of spring. Let me know whether it's in our YouTube comments, Spotify comments, wherever you can leave comments. Let me know what you're watching, what you're liking so far. If you think I'm stupid, if you think I'm super smart, let me know. If you think I'm stupid, I'm gonna delete your comment. If you think I'm super smart, I'm gonna like it. But yeah, I'm gonna take what we got here and we'll adapt it to what we're doing in a month from now and seeing if I change on anything. But thank you for supporting the podcast. If this is your first time, welcome. If you've been here for a long time, you know the drill. If you want to support us, best way to do so, like, comment, subscribe, leave a review on whatever platform you are watching or listening to us on. Next week for Watch Club, we are doing Medalist Season 2. We all love Season 1, so I can't wait to talk about Medalist Season 2. Otherwise, if you're not here for Watch Club in 2 weeks, we're bringing back fan favorite, everyone loves playing along with it, the Mal review game. So look forward to that. So thank you so much. Thank you also, while I'm figuring this out, doing shit solo, greatly appreciate any feedback, what you like, what you didn't like. I take it all to heart, no hard feelings. I want to produce the best content that I can for you guys. So thank you again, and we will see you next time. Peace.
Bye.